Please be upstanding for the graduands and the official parties.
tanga o te kuninga ki pūre huroa. Koutou ngā pia kua e kiki angitu, e kawe mai nei ngā moi moi a ngā mātua tūpuna. Tēnā rau koutou e! Tēnā koutou rā mōkau ki runga tāma ki raro rātou mā e kawe mai nei te Māori o te whenua nei. Tākina mai rā, ngā manaakitanga ki a tātou i ui nei, ki roti o tō tātou whare. Nau mai, hara mai, whakatau mai rā.
A tēnā koutou katoa, warm greetings to you all. I declare this congregation to be in session. Please remain standing as we start our proceedings today with the University Waiata, Te Kuninga ki Puri Huroa.
Te kuninga ki pure huroa. Nei rā te reo karanga e tau atu nei. Ki te hapai a te rau tangata. Whakako whaka eke ki te komata. Te kuninga ki pure huroa. Te ora mataranga ka whakarewa e. Te maramatanga ka kitea e. Ki mihi ara ngā haua kia whita e. Te kuninga ki pure huroa. Te kuninga ki pure huroa.
Please be seated. Tēnei te mihi atu, ki te iti, ki te rahi, te katoa. A koutou, kua rau i ka mai nei i tēnei rangi nui whakaharara. I tangi tono ana, te nāku, mō rātou kua nāro i te tirohongo kanohi haere, koutou haere oti atu. Ki a tātou te kanohi ora e huhui nei, i raro i te maru o Ōteha, tēnā tātou. Ki te iwi kāinga Ngāti Whātua ki Kaipara, tā atu ki ona piringa katoa, tēnā koutou katoa, no reira. E nā karangatanga katoa, tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa. Vice-Chancellor, Massey University Council members, members of the university community, members of the events team, distinguished guests, graduates and families. My name is Michael Ahi. I am Chancellor of the Massey University Council, which means I chair the group responsible for overseeing the university's governance, as well as having the very great pleasure in presiding over graduation ceremonies and conferring qualifications to the successful students of Massey University. My thanks to all involved in putting this ceremony together. Graduation is always a special event for the university, and I extend a very warm welcome to you all to this autumn graduation for 2021, the 7th of 8 ceremonies here in Auckland. At Massey, we strive to solve the real-world problems that stand to make a difference in people's lives. And through the combined efforts of our research and teaching, new solutions and discoveries are made to address the challenges that face us all. Graduates of Massey University complete their chosen course of study with more than knowledge. They leave with the capability and the confidence to change the world around them. They leave to establish new pathways, lead the way forward, and make life better for those around them. We are immensely proud of the entrepreneurial spirit of our graduates. This week, Massey University is awarding to a total of 1,603 students. That's a lot of handshakes for me. And at this ceremony, degrees will be conferred and diplomas awarded in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences and Professional and Continuing Education. A total this afternoon of 202 in person and a further 58 in absentia. Ladies and gentlemen, graduations are festive occasions and our biggest celebration of academic success. While today is about you, the graduands, it is also about your family and your friends who have encouraged and supported you and who are here to acknowledge your success. So to those of you in the audience, when your loved one takes to the stage, don't hold back. Be exuberant, be loud. Their few seconds on stage mean all the more for you being here. So please don't be afraid to contribute to their experience. Graduates, by the end of today, you will be part of a Massey alumni family, more than 150,000 people strong around the world. As Chancellor, I welcome you to this new whānau and hope that through the many connections it offers, your careers will be supported and indeed your lives enhanced. I say this because your university cares about you. You are each part of the Massey University legacy, part of a story now written and part of the chapters yet to come. Graduates, before you cross the stage, I wish you congratulations once more. Continue to work hard. Take all the opportunities that life gives you. I know that you will continue to aim high and succeed in whatever you choose to accomplish in your life. Do us proud. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, a tēnā koutou, a tēnā huhui, mai tātou katoa. By the authority of the Council of Massey University, I, Michael Ahi, Chancellor, will now award the certificates and diplomas and confer the degrees on those to be presented and on those in absentia. Andrea Flavel, Director for Professional and Continuing Education, will call the names of recipients and certificates from the Centre for Professional and Continuing Education. Professor Cynthia White, Pro Vice Chancellor, College of Humanities and Social Sciences, will hand out the parchments.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Certificate in Foundation Studies the candidates I am about to name. Casey Markayla Buchanan. Sentini Vui. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Certificate in University Preparation the candidates I am about to name. Isabella Renee Ali'i Matafitafi. Helen Marie Derrick. Josephine Kawaling Torano. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Foundation Certificate in Advanced Academic English the candidates I am about to name. Haijin Liu. Jitama Terasombunket. Thank you, Chancellor.
Kia ora anō, Dr. Damien Rogers, Senior Lecturer from the School of People, Environment and Planning, and Associate Professor Fiona Timomo from Te Putahi o Atoi will call the names of graduates and recipients of certificates and diplomas in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Professor Cynthia White, Pro Vice Chancellor, College of Humanities and Social Sciences, will continue to hand out the parchments.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Certificate in Arts the candidate I'm about to name, Tui Miriam Campbell. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Diploma in Arts the candidates I'm about to name, Brittany Rose Hornby. Cici Tui Tamala Tupo Veonga Kava Liku. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Bachelor of Arts the graduands I'm about to name. Joseph Peter Abbott. Vanessa Evelyn Adams. Caitlin Elizabeth Appleyard. Madison Rose Amua. Yumiko Bandan. Kayana Elizabeth Barton. Monica B. Brianna Marie Black. Mitchell John Brennan. Grace Alexandra Burton. Clarella Su Hua Cheng. Shivashri Shetty. Timothy Robert Clark. Sophie Blair Archie Clarkson. Nicole Claire Rita Collins. Carol Elizabeth Colchier Brewer, Massey Scholar. Simram Shivanjili Dio. Kieran John Dorman. Taylor Ray Isa Danielle Elima. Sarah Grace Evans. Kelly Joy Flats. Nicole Joan Folwell Ambler. Caroline Fredericks. Emma May Garvin. Laura Ann Griffin, Massey Scholar. Jade Amelia Hallamore. Sean Mark Hampson Tyndall. Amy Leanne Hancock, Massey Scholar. Samuel Luke Vailima Hansen. Melanie Jane Hazeldine. Nathaniel David Hazeldine. Bradley Scott Hoxema, Massey Scholar. Shania Ray Jadine Houghton. Madison Page Hull. Marita Jessica Hunt. Gemma Marie Ikahihifo. Rachel Louise Innes. Emma May Jackson. Jessica Jordan Jeans. Robin Geethan Jensen. Himani Georgia. Jeon Kim. Tanya Marie Carlin Kingy. Christina Hildegard Lofton. Charlotte Sarah Bevan Maybe Hillo. Bushra M. Mahmood. Kimberly Helen Manco. Julie Maxted. Shania let me repronounce that. Shania Te Atirehiha McAllister. Claire Alexa McDonald. James Adrian McEnroy. Angela Michelle McKee. Joseph Mallow. Zara Michelle Missildine. Caitlin Ariana Mitchell. Danielle Raywin Malloy. Carla Jacqueline Moriarty. Houston Brooke Murray. Cheryl Nandon. Meredith Ann Norman. Mayrenisa Nori. Amon Maurice O'Neill. Nikaya T. Kupu Ariha Horaki Paulson Moore. Stephanie Rose Phillips. Elise Rose Power. Dion Patrick Poynton. Manisha Mitchell Prasad. Gareth James Pring. Carmenza Cecilia Quintero Restrepo. Chansoni Samontri. Monica Linda Shalevis. Susanna Joy Shalom, Massey Scholar. Aotea Riwa Schwenke. Liam Grant Shaw. Rosie Lisa Bella Shepherd. Anna Marie Jessica Smith. Rowan Nola Catherine Stanley, Massey Scholar. Mary Catherine Alexi Tarduran Sulit. Ayman Sultan. Guzlan Hamid Sultan. Mahasin Hamid Sultan. Miriam Sultanzada. Maria Doreen Safajahim. Alatasi Janet Asovalu Tagala Sua. Owen Raymond Taitiho. Ha. Tanaz Ta Vakalai. Elet Tau Pakado. Leah Carey Tregoeth. Annalise Tuaro Jones. Alexandra Jane Tanui. Elizabeth Eve Van Giffen, Massey Scholar. Thomas Albert Wagner. William Blake Wallace. Jesse Tyler Wells. Sean Michael Willens, Massey Scholar. Wei-Jean Yi. Brandon Lane Young. Margaret Ann Diamond Young. Jing Juan Zhang. Yalu Zhao. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the conjoint degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Business, the graduand I'm about to name. Samantha Jane Asser. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Bachelor of Communication, the graduands I am about to name. Courtney Morgan Anderson. Rita Caitlin Clark. Hannah Oli Fun Malaya O Yun Juro J. Jade Lindy Megan Rose Feely. Isabella May Francis. Sophie Georgina Stone, Massey Scholar. Haitu Por Thin. Teal Annalie Vint. Yuzhan Shang. Thank you, Chancellor.
A tēnā tātou, it's now my pleasure to invite Pete de Jong to address the graduands. Pete is an accidental sociologist, he tells me, who stumbled into the subject at Massey in Palmerston North in the early 80s, a time of great social change in New Zealand. After studying rugby subculture in New Zealand, he has since put these insights into good use as a communications advisor for leading companies in New Zealand and Southeast Asia. Pete is a great believer in the value of the arts and social sciences in business and has brought this perspective to areas as diverse as agri-tech, aviation, banking, biotech, dairy, forestry, infrastructure, shipping and logistics, property and iwi enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, would you give a very warm welcome to Pete de Jong.
Thank you, Chancellor. I may have done those things, but I realise I've made a really rookie mistake preparing for today. I got my son to measure the circumference of my head with a steel tape measure instead of a fabric one, and he's measured it about 3 centimetres too small. I feel like my hat's going to fall off any moment. Tēnā koto katoa. Just about everyone who's ever walked through the doors of an academic institution have come here because you've got a question on your mind. You want to unlock some code or solve a puzzle. And for some of you here today, the question is, how do I fit into a changing world? I don't have all the answers, but I'm happy to share some of my experience as a person who's spent a lifetime trying to fit in. But to share this story with you, I really need to go back to another troubled time in history. And after 5 years of living under Nazi occupation and another 6 of living in hunger and austerity, my father, Hendrik de Jong, boarded a boat in Rotterdam and headed to New Zealand. he turned up to his first job as a newly qualified veterinarian in Eltham, Taranaki. And he was armed only with his freshly printed degree, a very strange accent, and his Dutch-English dictionary. It was a condition for him to come into the country at that time that he had to carry an ID card at all times. And stamped across the ID card was his immigration status, and it had one word written on it. It said, alien. So, as part of being an alien, he was required to report to the police station once a month to make sure that he wasn't getting up to too many alien activities. So a lot of Kiwis at that time, they didn't look kindly on people who looked or spoke differently from them. And, you know, they thought that my dad might be a communist, he could have been a Catholic, or he could even be a coffee drinker. And those were all, could be a problem at that time. It was a very monocultural, patriarchal time in New Zealand's history, 1951. But beneath the mountain, my father learnt that the local community was ruled by rugby. Using his trusty dictionary, he worked out a way to break the ice with the farmers who he worked with each day. So he figured out to say, who's going to win the big game, even if he had no idea who was playing. But no matter how many times he checked out his dictionary or made small talk about the rugby, he could never really crack the social code. There would always be something alien about him. And it was really only at home that his Dutch ways were allowed to come out. He was eating windmill biscuits or asking us to pruck the potatoes, he'd say, for his beloved potato cheese. And if our sheep got out on the road again, he'd let out a long Dutch swear word that he made me promise never ever to say. So I'm going to say it here. Godverdomme. So when I was growing up, I really wished that my father could be more like all the other rugby dads of where I went to school. But, Dad wasn't there for me on the rugby front. So when I got home from school, I'd boast to my brother about my achievements on the school field. And I'd say, yeah, I only got one goal, but I had 4 tries. And just at that stage, I didn't even realize, I thought that tries were attempts to score rather than the actual score. So there was another kind of common lie that we were told. The coach would look us in the eye and kind of pound his fist and say that we needed to be more staunch when we were tackling the opposition. And probably one of the biggest lies that you'll ever hear in New Zealand is the phrase, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, because they don't. There's actually a photo which, I'd love to go back to Taranaki and go to the office of the Stratford Press and dig it out of the archives, because I remember it, because it made me a little bit famous in my hometown. And we're playing Inglewood in the final of the rugby for Eltham Primary School, and I don't know why, but the photographer took a photo of me trying to charge the ball down. My jersey was 4 sizes too big. It was down to my knee. I had huge buck teeth at the time, and my eyes were closed, and I'm missing the ball as it sails past, and I will do a simulation of this look. Something like that. So it probably wasn't a surprise that All Black honours passed me by. Then in 1981, New Zealand was torn apart by social divisions over the Springbok rugby tour. There was particular violence against the protesters in Matamata, Invercargill, and little old Eltham. From the roofs of our local shops, our actual neighbours were filmed pelting a priest with eggs. So here was my hometown in the national news and even the global news, and with the dark side of masculinity in full view. So between my origins growing up in Eltham and trying to fit into that rugby crowd, and my emerging identity as a lefty sociology student at Massey in Palmerston North, I felt torn down the middle. So when the Springbok tour came, I do recall an occasion in Palmerston North where I joined a protest march in the morning and I went to a Springbok game in the afternoon. Unlike our former Prime Minister, Sir John Key, at least I can remember where I was at the time. And some of these tensions, which were in the social context around me, they were very evident in the thesis that I wrote on rugby subculture. I have to say I was very ambivalent. After I graduated, there was no 10-point plan, no roadmap. I took factory jobs, farm jobs, I travelled, I tried writing, and then I ended up as probably the oldest student newspaper in the world with a big debt. None of this made for a promising CV, but the things that I learnt from sociology and the shitty jobs helped me work things out. And it made me think of pigeons, actually. When they're let out of their cage, they fly in circles for a few times while they figure out which way to fly. And what I learnt is that the humanities and the social sciences are also really, really useful, not just for working out what's going on in a small community, but also cracking the social codes of business. Every company that you deal with, it's a living social laboratory of people cooperating and other people coercing people. And to my great joy, and it did take me quite a few years to work out how to do it, the leaders of these businesses are actually willing to pay people like me with my social science degree to come and help them sort it out. Now, our world is looking to life after COVID-19. Everything is up for question. Gender, employment, science, climate, global development, science, climate, power, race, and in all of these elements, people are looking for new ways to live. And it's up to people like you from the arts and social sciences with your philosophy and your education, psychology, soc, design, film, creative, Māori studies, Pacifica studies, global development. It's up to you to work out the answers of this new world. So well done to you all. And it was so lovely seeing everyone's faces as you came up, looking hopeful and excited. You've taken the first steps to unlock the code, which brought you to uni. And in sitting with times when things are feeling weird, you begin a path, and you get a study and a practice. And that's what all of you have done here today, and you're going to build this new world. At the outset, I said that I would not have all the answers, and I've over-delivered on that. But if I do have a message today, it's this. It takes a lifetime to figure out how to fit in. And it's not a burden, it's a beauty. Dad served for 36 years on and off with the Eltham Vet Club. For years I wanted him to be more like the other rugby dads, but now I just wish I'd spent more time with the dad I had. It's 70 years since he stepped off that boat, and I still miss the smell of potato cheese. In the age of Instagram, everyone wants instant success. Cut yourself some slack. As Viktor Frankl said, don't look for happiness, look for meaning. And finally, if you ever do go to the Netherlands, never try to ride a bicycle on a frozen canal, because I already tried it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Pete. I always enjoy your addresses. Don't look for happiness, look for meaning. And I promise never to ride a bike on a frozen canal. Thank you, Pete. Ladies and gentlemen, would you give another warm round of applause to Pete Young, please? Thank you. Kia ora anō, thank you everyone. We will now continue with the conferment of degrees and the award of university diplomas.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Graduate Certificate in Emergency Management the candidate I am about to name, Isabel Joan Scott. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Graduate Diploma in Arts the graduates I'm about to name, Luke Justin Checksfield. Peter David Jensen. Kirsten Louise Jones. Lulu Ma. Taranay Jane McGill. James William Sandham. Jordan Page Schwen. Marcia Lynn Vanderpeet. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Postgraduate Diploma in Arts the candidates I'm about to name. Vivica Erica Bea Boudois Edubalat. Nicholas David Fox with distinction. Therese Maria Crucial Gervin with distinction. Hai Yoon Kim. Julian Mark Shields with distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Postgraduate Diploma in Emergency Management the candidates I'm about to name. Lauren Norma Emanuel with distinction. Wesley Fauso Tune Tugia. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Postgraduate Diploma in International Development the candidates I am about to name. Evie Sinead Corrigan, with distinction. Madeline Rose Jury, with distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Postgraduate Diploma in International Security the candidates I am about to name. Manaholos Seleshi Mula. Eva Nice. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Postgraduate Diploma in Planning the candidates I'm about to name. Simeon Alistair McLean. Kumeshni Naidu. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours the graduates I'm about to name. Andrea Jean Coles, First Class Honours. Bridget Mary Davies. Rachel Nari Marie Evans, First Class Honours. Katie Anna O'Grady, First Class Honours. Meredith Annette Standing, First Class Honours. Taiafio Iris Wati, First Class Honours. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Applied Linguistics the graduate I am about to name, Noriko Oki Cleaver. With distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Arts the graduates I am about to name. Abigail Grace Archer. Sincere Duha Bwa Nail. Helen Patricia Ellis. Cassidy Teresa Claire George. Deborah Marie Gill. Kieran McAlpine with distinction. Brittany Laurel Palachi with distinction. Jessica Ann Stevens with distinction. Leanne Sarah Tatana. Nicolette Truman with distinction. Joy Karina Louise Kororia Webster. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Clinical Psychology the graduate I'm about to name. Madeline Rose Maholland James. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Creative Writing the graduate I'm about to name, Chelsea Rose Halton, with distinction, Masterate Scholar. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of International Development the graduates I'm about to name. Catherine Leslie Mailing with distinction. Irene Nisha Rahiman. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of International Security the graduates I am about to name. Anthony John Hay with distinction. Paul Edgar Nemi with distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Resource and Environmental Planning the graduates I'm about to name. Lisa Nicole Matson. Tracy Lee Miller. Jasmine Penina Wagner with distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Sustainable Development Goals, the graduates I'm about to name. Lucy Pamela Crone with distinction. Tracy Miranda Hale with distinction. Georgina Mary Claire Hills with distinction. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the postgraduate diploma in psychological practice the candidates I'm about to name. Tracy Ann Rose Hedawini. Josephine Longmore. Lara Ann Morton. Sanan Sadagi. Ryan Jim Sai San Diego. Oscar St. Bleu. Teresa Heidi Urgerhardt. Chancellor, the degrees are also conferred and the diplomas are also awarded to those who are in absentia. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, everybody. It is now my great pleasure to invite Elizabeth Van Geffen to make the valedictory address on behalf of the students. Elizabeth completed a Bachelor of Arts majoring in English and History at the end of 2019 and is currently undertaking a Master of Arts in English Literature. Her MA research questions the role that theatre might have played in the reinforcement of the gender hierarchy and the patriarchal orthodoxy in early 17th century London. Elizabeth has been the recipient of various scholarships and awards, including the Auckland University Press Prize, the R.J. Freehan Prize for Critical Writing, a Massey Scholarship for Humanities and Social Sciences, and a Massey University Master's Research Scholarship. For the past 3 years, Elizabeth has worked part-time as an English tutor for primary and secondary level students. At the beginning of this year, she joined the Massey team as a tutor for the undergraduate Introduction to English Literature course. As she approaches the tail end of her Masters, Elizabeth looks forward to pursuing a graduate diploma in secondary teaching. She hopes to be an academic cheerleader for her future students in the same way that her past teachers, tutors, lecturers, and supervisors have all been for her. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Council and staff. Graduates, congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. I've spent the last few years reading and analysing works that many may consider to be those of the literary greats. Jane Austen, Henry James, Sylvia Plath, William Shakespeare. So it might horrify my supervisor to hear that of all the literary quotes I could have started with today, I chose one from Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go." She might be equally mortified, but not necessarily surprised to hear that I was still writing this speech at 11 p.m. the night before it was due. but she would also not be surprised to hear that this was not from a lack of trying. Because when I was asked to speak on behalf of all the graduates today, I felt rather underqualified. I was worried because I wondered, how am I supposed to capture a collective experience when we all come from such an array of disciplines? To name a few, we're here celebrating students who slog towards certificates and diplomas in border and biosecurity, graduate diplomas in women's studies, postgraduate diplomas in cognitive behavior therapy, a Master of Creative Writing, a Doctor of Philosophy. I tried to find common ground, but realized that, as usual, I just needed to rein it in and not overcomplicate the situation. Our common ground is that today, the years of hard work, determination, and crippling anxiety have finally paid off. Despite the instability and upset around the world this past year, we took it in our stride and we made it work so we could get to this point. The qualification, whichever one it might be that each of us has received today, is more than just a piece of paper. It's a highly expensive piece of paper. And not just expensive in terms of the student loan debt accrued, but the time spent getting here. It represents the bottomless coffees and Red Bulls that kept us wired through the all-nighters. It represents the late nights spent at the library instead of at the pub with friends. Or perhaps it's a reminder of those nights spent at the pub with friends when you probably, definitely should have been at the library. It's sitting at the desk or kitchen table with your head slumped in your hands. And it's the endless hours spent stressing because you're running out of words and you're running out of time when you're running out of money. We have put so much energy and emotion and heart into getting here, and we deserve to relish the moment. And while this is our day, celebrating our achievements, it's also a day to recognize and thank our cheerleaders, the friends, family, and support networks that helped us here. Perhaps there were friends or family who were unfortunate enough to be in the firing line once or twice when your fuse burnt out. To all those people, and on behalf of all the graduates here today, we're sorry, we didn't mean it, please forgive us. And the staff, what has really made Massey stand out for me and others that I've spoken to, and something we will always be grateful for, are the staff who were and are always so supportive, who gave extension after extension, challenged me and continue to challenge me during my masters, and who always understand that sometimes life happens. At no point throughout my academic career at Massey have I ever felt like I had to struggle alone. So truly, thank you. Finally, graduates, your piece of paper will open up doors that you might not have known were there, as will the people you've met, the networks you've created, the mindsets you've changed, and the identity and confidence you've developed. Massey has provided us with a framework, but as we move onwards and upwards, we should continue to build on our strengths, correct our weaknesses, keep our eyes and minds open to opportunities that might present themselves, and say yes to as many of them as possible, whether you feel qualified or not. Fake it till you make it has been my motto since day dot. And on that note, I shall finish the way I started, with that Dr. Seuss favourite. So, be your name Boxbom, or Bixby, or Bray, or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that wonderful address. Some fine messages there. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Kia ora anō, everybody. Thank you. We will now proceed with the last of our formal parts of our procedures today, a very important one too, and that's the conferment to our doctoral graduates.
Chancellor, a doctorate, either a PhD or a professional named doctorate, is the highest research degree awarded by the university. The successful completion of a doctorate represents a significant achievement. Through the submission of a sustained piece of research, expressed in the production of a written thesis of no more than 100,000 words, or a creative work of equivalent size and scope, or via a series of publications, candidates are expected to make an original contribution to knowledge in a specific field of study. Candidates will typically spend 3 to 4 years of full-time research solving a problem or addressing a particular set of questions. An international panel of experts then examines the resulting body of work through both written and oral examination. Doctoral research is challenging and represents a huge commitment to advancing research and scholarship. We honour the achievements of our doctoral graduands by inviting them onto the stage, thereby formally welcoming them into the academic and scholarly community and acknowledging their entitlement to be called doctor. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology the graduands I'm about to name. Amelia Jade Backhouse-Smith, Doctoral Scholar. Understanding why Māori seek less help from services despite the unequal experience of mental health problems is important. Tangata whaiora, whānau and Māori kaimahi spoke with Ms Backhouse-Smith about the value of mental health care that upholds te ao Māori, supports relationships and tino rangatiratanga, and is appropriately resourced. These represent solutions to enhance Māori service engagement and mental wellbeing. Chancellor, Dr. Backhouse-Smith. Aramis Nathaniel Denon, Doctoral Scholar. Young adulthood can be a significant period in people's lives as focus begins to shift from adolescent development to the formation of relationships. Mr. Denon investigated the degree to which endorsement of sexist ideologies predicted dating application engagement among 1,000 young adults. The study initiated a conversation about the role of sexist beliefs within dating applications. Chancellor, Dr. Denon. Charlotte May Buchanan Gibson, Doctoral Scholar. The Babble app is designed to support parents through the distressing experience of neonatal unit admission. Ms Gibson found that while the Babble app did not have an impact on parental distress, self-efficacy or how informed they felt, they nevertheless found it useful as a supplementary tool. Information, staff support and consistent communication was also considered impactful on parents' experiences. Chancellor, Dr. Gibson. Nicole Sarah Gifford. Ms Gifford's thesis explored Instagram's impact on adolescent mental health. She found that vulnerable adolescents are comparing themselves unfavourably to the perfect photos on Instagram and as a result experience poor mental health. Chancellor, Dr. Gifford. Victoria Ann Thompson. Changes in the diagnostic criteria for health anxiety calls for better understanding of those who excessively worry about their health. Ms Thompson's findings showed how difficult this experience is to live with, as well as to manage in healthcare settings. Her research sets foundations for further development in our understandings of health anxiety and how to better support those affected by it. Chancellor, Dr. Thompson. Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Doctor of Philosophy the graduands I am about to name. Gina Annette Cole, Doctoral Scholar. Inspired by Afrofuturism, Indigenous futurisms and their fictive kin, Ms. Cole has developed a theoretical construct called Pacifica Futurism. Situated in the afterlife of colonisation, Pacifica Futurism is rooted in Pacific Ocean indigeneity and reflects Indigenous Pacifica culture, history and values in science fiction writing. Chancellor, Dr. Cole. Janine Irvine. Reimagining local history books as life writing or life stories encourages an appreciation of their forms and practices as literary and social devices. Miss Irvine studied local history books in Aotearoa, New Zealand as life writing to investigate how expectations and practices of these books change when they are studied as the life story of a community. The research revealed the significance of how and why the texts are made, which requires writers to reflect critically on questions of authorship and representation in future projects. Chancellor, Dr. Irvine. Elizabeth Cassandra Nath. The application of emotion measurement tools in consumer research has grown exponentially in recent years. Ms. Nath set out to expand the utility of emotion measurement tools for quantifying the impact of contextual variables on consumption emotion. She confirmed that the social context of a meal influenced both explicit and implicit emotional responses to memories of food and food images. Chancellor, Dr. Nath. Stella Maria Pennell, Doctoral Scholar. Airbnb's exponential growth in regional tourist towns in Aotearoa impacts the daily lives of its hosts, yet this area has been relatively under-researched. Mrs. Pennell used surplus as both an analytical tool and a methodological imperative. She found contradictions in surplus meanings between using space as business and home and the ways that surplus enjoyment is appropriated by capitalist organisations. Chancellor, Dr. Pennell. Guenja Wren. Mr. Wren examined the shifting multi-generational dynamics of immigrant families from the People's Republic of China living in New Zealand. He analysed the formation of diverse transnational family experiences by intersecting various multi-stranded factors. His research contributes to the theorisation of transnational family formation and maintenance of an increasingly globalised world. Chancellor, Dr. Wren. Thank you, Chancellor. Would all of our graduates please stand? He honore nui te whakatau atu I a koutou, hei raukura o te kuninga ki Pure Hurua. It is my great honour to welcome you as alumni of Massey University. The award of a university degree carries many privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. I charge you, as graduates of Massey University, to use what you have learnt for your own betterment and for the benefit of your communities. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and discovery. I charge you to remember the lessons Massey University has taught you about the worth of others, particularly those who've not had the opportunities that you have had. I charge you to set goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. And in all that you do, I charge you to be deserving of the good name of Massey University. Congratulations. You may now be seated.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. And tēnā tātou te whare, thank you all very much, and congratulations once more, graduates. That brings us to the conclusion of our ceremony today, and please, if I could ask the guests, if you could remain in your seats until the processions have left the auditorium. I therefore declare this congregation to be adjourned. If I could ask you all to please stand and join with us in a rousing rendition of our national anthem.